Mr. I.
Good morning, Coach Cruz. How you doing?
Doing well. How you doing?
Good to see you.
How was it right up here?
It was good. Not a lot of traffic. Pretty nice, beautiful drive.
Nice day out?
Yeah, beautiful.
It's good. It's good. Well, today I'm just going to ask you a couple questions here. Do you need anything before we get started?
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask you today is tell me about yourself.
Okay. I studied health science at Lock Haven University for my undergraduate degree. I ran track and field for 4 years there, graduated with my Bachelor of Science and a minor in sports psychology, and then went to graduate school, also at Lock Haven, for a sport and exercise psychology program.
So you're familiar with the university?
Yes, very much so. Yes.
Do you know Lally?
Dr. Patricia Lally, yeah. Oh, great professor.
Yes.
Wonderful woman.
So my second question I have is, what have you heard of the program?
Oh, great things. Being part of it, I got to see firsthand the amazing things athletes and coaching staff have done. Continuously stellar reputation amongst the athletes. Something I definitely want to be a part of, continue the tradition of excellence.
It's good to hear. I'm going to skip ahead here. What would you say would be your strengths?
Strengths? I care a lot about the students and athletes. I've seen firsthand what goes on and the tolls that doing both those things can take, so caring about them is my priority.
Okay. So now you identified your strengths. Can you tell me what are your weaknesses or one weakness that you have and how would you improve upon it?
Okay. Along the same lines of caring, I think caring too much, spreading my time thin amongst a lot of athletes. So that's where we could do like group programs, one-on-one sessions when necessary.
Sure. Next question I have is, what could you bring to this team?
Okay, so I'm trained to mentally enhance performance and the mindset of athletes. So I set up different programs focusing on anxiety, how to cope with things like that. So breathing techniques, meditation, things like that. So to better the athlete's performance, make them feel more comfortable, be as helpful as I can.
Okay. Well, you said before you're a previous student athlete and you're trying to help students athlete. How do you tie in that knowledge of being a student athlete to help these current or former athletes?
I think it's very important that you know the sport that you're working with and knowing it well, so that you can see the different dynamics of the team and be able to hone in on different skills.
Got you. I'm just gonna hop into a few scenarios real fast. Just switch it up because questions can get boring after a while. Two scenarios I'm gonna have. One's be with a male runner, another one's be a female runner. Okay. So my first scenario I have here is there's a runner on my team who's going through hardships with his family. His schoolwork and athletics is being affected by these issues. I have noticed this issue, and so I send them towards you. How would you deal with the situation?
Okay, that's a great scenario actually. So I'm trained in performance enhancement and mental skills. So depending on the severity of the family problems back home, I'm qualified to help him with educating him on how to handle stress. But if the issue is more clinical and needs diagnosis, I would be able to refer him to someone who is properly trained in that field.
Quick question to go off that would be, if a parent comes up to you or a another coach about the session would you have with the athlete, what do you do?
Well, due to protective laws, everything that the athlete has opened up to me about would have to remain confidential.
Okay, got you. Going ahead to my second scenario now would be the female runner.
Okay.
So this athlete has not been performing to her standards, and she's scared of continually being in a slump. Her reason to that is that she's not gonna perform any better, and has fears of being injured. Okay. How would you deal with the situation?
I see this happen quite frequently. It's very common. But what we could do is set up different programs, meet with her, and find out the bottom line issue and see what she's actually struggling with. So if it's fear of performance and like she's in the blocks and starts to shake, get real nervous, and that is causing her anxiety and poor performance, then we could work on breathing. Imagery I found is very effective. Different types of ways to help her calm down and then focus in on performance, ignoring everything else.
Okay. Well, that's all the scenarios I have, so I just want to get back to the questions here.
Okay, sure thing.
How did you become interested in wanting to become a sports psychologist?
Like I said, just growing up playing sports my whole life, saw the toll it can take on people, and personally, I've never really learned how to properly handle different fears and different performance-related issues. So, being an educational sports psychologist, I am able to teach people things that I never learned.
Okay, so next question I have moving on would be, since we travel far distances during the weekends or maybe during like towards the end of the week, would you travel with the team or would you try to primarily stay on campus during the weekends? So when we return or when we have that all time from quote unquote races, like our race days, what would you rather do?
Good question. I think it's very important to be as involved as you can be. If an athlete comes to me and I'm only there for that, I'm only getting one side of the story. I'm only seeing what they choose to tell me. Not that they're lying, but it's more important to be involved so you can see the different dynamic and the different changes, because it's important to stay flexible.
Okay. So that, we would all be bouncing off that. If you were to set up a session with numerous athletes, how would you run it?
Okay. So, being an educational sports psychologist, I could teach them in the classroom, which oftentimes student athletes would be in my classes. But if I felt important for the specific team I'm working with, say group dynamic, the whole team's struggling with cohesiveness, then I could meet with them and explain them different strategies, different techniques, such as like goal setting, team goals, team bonding, motivational things like that, different programs like that.
Okay. Since you also talked about being with the coaches, let's say the coaches among us who are having issues like cooperating, and you had a set up session for us, would you make it any different or would it be the same, kind of similar?
Different in a way that you have a different role on the team, obviously, than the athlete. So it's important to see that, but definitely could meet with them, do the same thing, meet one-on-one with coaches. Anyone involved in the team could come.
Okay. That's here. Well, because since you'll be around all the time, we're almost year round, but we start mostly in the winter. From that fall to early winter phase, which is our off season, what role would you play?
Okay, so I would have my own private practice. Athletes can reach out, email, come see me, because in off season they're still training, they're still working hard at it. So if they go through something, I have my practice and they can set up a session, reach out, I'll be able to help.
Sure. Well, a little thing I like to do as like maybe around you or just like athletes I have is, what is one word or phrase that you hope former players or athletes would you say use to describe you?
I want it to be impactful.
Why impactful?
Impactful because it's the why I chose the field. I want to make a difference and help change the student athletes' lives.
Okay. I like that one. Last question here for you would be, Mr. Ide, would be, why are you the best person for this job?
Okay. Well, I'm educated in the field. I know the sport very well. Able to be flexible with student athletes. I'm easygoing, able to talk to them, love working with them. My favorite sport and my favorite thing to do is help and be a part of the athletic department.
Okay. Well, I'm all out of questions for you, Mr. Ide. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, actually. I was wondering how the team is, how they're working together, how they're doing.
So, such as like our dynamic.
The dynamic, yes.
Okay. Well, we're a very young team. We don't really have any upperclassmen, so to speak, or veterans. So this team is fun. hardworking and full of spunk. But at the same time, when times get rough and things don't go their way, they tend to put their head down a lot. And as a coach, you only could do so much because you're there to practice, they're at the meets, but you don't get to see what their daily life is. So I won't fully know what's behind the scenes. So have a sports psychologist on team to come about and help with that behind the scenes stuff would just complete the team and just maybe strengthen this team as a whole. Because besides physical strength, mental strength is huge in the sport of track and field.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, it's just you and the clock. So I think that's where our team dynamic is. Fun, well going, hardworking, but we just need something to help us to keep us strong when things don't go our way and use that as motivation.
Perfect. Sounds like the perfect job for me.
Okay. Well.
All right, Coach Cruz. Thank you very much.
Nice meeting you.
Thanks for your time.
Have a good day.
You too.